What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're going over the Eagles' schedule and Philly's sports trip schedule. Let's go.
Oh my God!
I'm embarrassed.
He's flying.
Welcome in. It's almost time. Welcome in, everybody. This is the A2D Radio Eagles schedule release party here, and also the Philly sports trip schedule release party. That's Hollis Thomas. That's Michael Chromiak. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, welcome in. We are brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. Hollis will have a read for you in a minute, but I'll give you a little beginner read. Brought to you by Philly Sports Trips, the Philadelphia 5 for 5 sports travel company, premium travel and tailgating experiences for the passionate fans of Philadelphia. Go to phillysportstrips.com and book your getaway today. We'll go over the Philly Sports Trips release schedule, and we'll also go over the Eagles 2023 schedule, which was released yesterday. 5 primetime games, maybe even more. A ton of 425 starts on Fox. I mean, you want to talk about, hey, we're here. We're here, baby. That's going to all tie into our poll question. But before we get into our poll question, Hollis has an official read for Philly Sports Trips.
I do have an official read, and the schedule just came out yesterday. So make sure you go to phillysportstrips.com and reserve your spot today. You'll get to watch a Birds game in great cities and hang out with me too. Also, Philly Sports Trips books the best hotels and has the best birds available joining us, like myself. So, if and you know, it was something else I was supposed to say. Oh yeah, I like to have fun as well. So everybody knows that when you come out, you're gonna have a good time with Tank. So go to phillysportstrips.com and book your trip. Tell them Tank sent you, and also you can tell them that you heard it on A2D Radio.
Let's go. And they got a lot of them. They're just releasing a bunch of them. I see you with David Akers, with Vince Papali.
Damn Skippy.
just met up with Vince the other day. He's the best. We had him on A2D back during the COVID years. But our poll question for tonight's show is, we shouldn't be concerned about the Eagles' strength of schedule in May. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe, follow, and most importantly, let us know how you feel about the poll question. And comment in. Guys, I usually go first, but I'm deferring today. I've talked enough the last week. So, House, you got the cutoff on. You know what I mean? So you go first.
I just came from Maximizing My Sexy. We were discussing maximizing my sexy, me hitting the gym and taking care of myself as a man, as a heterosexual male in these parts. So we were talking about this before we came on live. We talked about the strength of schedule, and everybody was talking. I think the strength of schedule keeps coming up is because everybody said that we had a soft schedule last year. But as I alluded to Tom, I said, they kept saying that crap, but then the team that they were pumping up and gassing up, we would kick their ass when we got here. And then it was like, what's next? Well, they still haven't played anybody. And then you go to the part where in the playoffs we play against the 49ers team, who everybody was lovey-dovey and all over, and we kicked sparks from that ass. And they've been bitching them on it ever since about Brock Purdy getting hurt. But it's like, get the hell out of here. They coach even can't. It's one game out of your season. You're not gonna get to go to the Super Bowl if you beat us in week 13. It's like you need to be worried about the rest of your season. But the strength of schedule is crap. Well, anybody can win on any given Sunday or whatever night you play. If you come out there shoo-shooing and shucking and jiving, the other team will kick your ass and send you home. And that's the way it is. Guys have a lot of people talk about pride. Guys, it's not about pride. It's about going out there and putting your best foot forward. And if somebody disrespects you by not putting their best foot forward, you should let them know that you mean business. This is the NFL. Stands for not for long if you don't go out there and hustle each and every down and each and every play. So
I can't wait to talk to you down the road about guys that you may have had to get up in for similar reasons.
Well, you know the one thing that when you get to the NFL, it's very few of those guys, and the guys the guys that you have to do like that, they're not around you for long if you're on with the quality organization. Now, sometimes the organization lets the quote unquote, we'll call them turds. They'll let them stick around and stuff, and they'll pay them, and it's kind of like when you ever work somewhere and you're doing your best, you're doing your job, and you're doing your best job, and you're there on time all the time. Then there's the one person that's just doing enough just to get by and not doing what they're supposed to do all the time. But the moment you do something or get out, quote unquote, get out of line as they see it, they're all over you. But you're like, hold on. It's like we're supposed to be a team, and you still letting this Yahoo still get the same pay as me. It doesn't work like that when you're on a team. People see that, so they start doing minimum too. But you can't. Like that's how the coach loses the locker room when you allow crap like that to go on. Because the worst thing you can get as a player is a loaf. Now, a loaf means that you kind of just was a spectator. You didn't chase the ball. You did the bare minimum. And then Jim Johnson used to give out the low play. That was the worst play that you could get because and then the worst part too is everybody's score and everything they do was up on the board with your name by it. So you had too many guys in the low column, you weren't gonna be there for long. So
yeah, and you had great coaches, right? I mean, you were lucky enough to play with a great regime here in Philadelphia, and not just Andy and Jim Johnson. There's a lot of guys that were on that staff through the years that they're great head coaches now. So,
but you got to remember, I go back to Ray Rhodes. Ray Rhodes brought me in. See, a lot of people have a misnomer about Andy Reid and Jim Johnson having that. We were already here. Me and Dawkins came in the same draft class. I was undrafted. Dawkins was here. I was here. Hugh Douglas was here. Who else? Bobby and Troy was here. Al Harris was here. Jeremiah Trotter was here. It was a lot. Most of the defense was intact when they got here. So it was one of those things where they just made us believe in what they were doing because it was working. And once you make a team believe, we're gonna run through the wall. And you feel like they had your back because all of us was young at the time as well. So they added a few pieces like Corey Simon, but Brandon Whiting was already here. Trey Thomas, Jermaine Mayberry was already here, which is most of the offensive line. Juan Castillas, the offensive line coach, was already here. Jim Harbaugh, he was already here. He was a special teams coach before Andy got here. So there was a lot of stuff in place. And then Andy did right by listening to Ray Rhodes on his way out, gave him some quality information and some quality tips to keep specific guys. And he did it, and it ended up working out for all of us.
Yeah, and then he got his franchise quarterback, right? Which then puts everything in motion there. One thing about Jermaine Mayberry, I'll never forget, right? When Ray Rhodes drafted him, his quote on Jermaine Mayberry sticks with me. Like, back then, when was Jermaine drafted?
20-something overall.
Yeah, but like in 99, maybe?
96.
96, right?
Yeah.
So I was 14. So I was 14 in 96. And remember it to this day that Ray Rhodes said, Jermaine Mayberry is a guy who can block out the sun. I said, listen, if a guy can block out the sun, I'm all in. I'm all in for blocking out the sun. Let's go. I'll never forget that one. Never forget it.
He didn't play to the end of the season. I ended up starting the 10th game of the season as an undrafted rookie,
which is amazing.
Well, it's like when you look at it. Back then, I was like, I didn't know what I know now about the undrafted free agents. It's like but you had to come in already prepared, and you don't get as many mistakes to make as the other guy. So you already coming in with a chip on your shoulder because you're pissed because everybody passed you over and your name didn't get called. But then you come in and you see guys getting chance after chance after chance to mess up, and they're sneaking up the joint. And the only reason that they're keeping them is because they were drafted in the first round. So sometimes it's that's why you always wake up each and every day, and you have to let yourself know that the world isn't fair. Isn't that right, Ginger?
It is true, absolutely. And listen, to the poll question too, I'm going to tell you right now, I 100% agree to this. And I can just look back at last season, right? When you come into the year, there's always teams that you think are going to be those teams that are going to be the tough matchups. You talk about the Green Bays of last year. Tennessee you thought was going to be a tough matchup. Minnesota, is kind of what they are. They look good some weeks. They play down other weeks.
But remember that game leading up to that game, how much trash everybody around the nation was talking about. We was about to get put on notice. Yeah. I was like, and we're gonna see. Just think about it. Just go back in your little red mind and think about all the times that a team was supposed to come and kick our butt. I don't know about you, but I get pissed when I hear the outsiders and the naysayers start talking trash about our squad, and then not even. And it's like you look at it as like anybody could win in April and May. How many times have the Cleveland Browns won in April and May?
Every year. For a long time.
I was going to ask you what I wanted to ask both of you guys one question. What was the most pissed off this past season that you guys have been when they've doubted us? And I'm talking about most pissed off you've been before the game, and then after we put them on notice after shell shocking somebody, most pissed off game after. Because I can tell you, after we kicked a couple of people's ass, they were still talking about we hadn't played anybody a couple of times. And I want to just go up on every sports station and kick everybody in the teeth who said that.
Well, see, for me, it goes up to the Super Bowl, and I'll tell you why. Piggybacking off of what we were both saying earlier, right? Nobody expected this division to be as tough as it was last year. And really, if Juan what's his name, Ron Rivera knew how many knew that they had a chance to get into the playoffs at that point, that might have played out a little different. I mean, there was a time where it looked like all 4 teams could possibly make the playoffs in this.
Oh yeah, well it's good.
You look at that and you see how we're coming in and coming into the year and we're beating teams. And again, you have teams. Detroit was a tough matchup, and Detroit proved to be a team that was kind of on the rise, right?
Right.
So I look at it was the whole they go in this and they beat San Francisco. They knock Brock Purdy out, and it's the Eagles didn't beat anybody. Well, Brock Purdy and Josh Johnson, because of the Eagles defense getting to the quarterback, executing their game plan, and doing it early. So I just felt like there was a lot of disrespect there. I felt like there was too many people going into that Super Bowl still saying Jalen Hurts hasn't proven anything to us yet. And I'm not saying people who still said I got to see a little more. There's people who were saying this is 1 year. I need a lot more. And I mean, you could see anybody with friggin' eyes could see what was going on in terms of his growth. So really, for me, it was going into the Super Bowl because I really expected a little bit more respect at that point.
Right.
And I felt like the teams that were in, the guys that were in, or the ladies that were in the national media were in kind of from jump.
Right.
But those people who just all season were naysayers and critics the whole time never deferred and never gave the credit to the team.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you saw it all over social media, right? I mean, this team was started. Would they start 11-0, 10-0? Whatever.
We started 8-0.
8-0.
Yeah. Don't Jonathan.
I did. Yeah, I just Jonathan Gannon. Sorry, I'm in Sixers mode. I'm in Sixers mode right now. Everybody, bear with me. It's been a minute, but either way, my point of it is when we start 8-0. That's respect, period. I don't care. I don't care who you play. This is the National Football League. This isn't college football where you can schedule some cupcakes and then come into your building, or you go to their building and they pay you $5 million to travel there. Absolutely not. This is the big boys. This is the best of the best. So if you beat somebody on a Sunday, that's a win. We talked about this in 2017, Chrome, all the time through that year. I do not care how you get to the locker room with a win. I just want wins. Ugly, pretty, however you want to look at it, because what happens is guys start believing and buying in, and their attention to detail goes up. That's what people miss. If you're struggling, right, it's easier for guys to flake, loaf, like we talked about before we even came on.
Not only that, Tom, it's like if you notice, when you get your ass kicked, guys start staying out late, getting in trouble with the law. Everything starts to come apart when you just said what you just said. When they're not paying attention to detail and going over everything with a fine-tooth comb, then it's what y'all are. It's like, but quickly before we go on, the thing that pissed me off going to the Super Bowl is we wasted more time talking about the damn 49ers bitching and moaning and crying and pissing themselves. That, we did this and we did that. And that has been going through the entire off season between them and Deebo Samuels and the coach Kyle Shanahan
and the kicker. And the kicker.
Oh God, that killed me softly. When we were listening to a kicker. We listened to a kicker.
Who got caught? Who got caught?
Yes.
So I am locked in on that, even though I thought we started 10-0 for a minute. I'll say this to the poll real quick. I agree. Absolutely agree. You guys know this already. You either believe a team is a 10, 11, 12, 13, wherever you got them, 4-win team, whatever it is. You go into a season saying, hey, we talk about it every year, Chrome. I believe it's a 12-win football team. I'm going into this year. I believe this is a 12-win football team. That's where I stand at. And I'll worry about week to week predicting wins and losses. Then it's hard to predict wins and losses now. We're going to go through the schedule a little bit, but it's like we don't know what week 4 is going to entail. We don't know anything, and that could be injuries on our side. It could be injuries on their side. So it's hard to get caught up in strength of schedule. It's hard to win in this league. So you either believe your team's damn good or you don't, and if you don't, fine. But I believe we're loaded, locked and loaded. This roster is just as good, if not better, than last year's roster. One, because it's another year with a lot of guys together. All right, Howie Roseman, home run draft again. His agent signings were money. He trades for a guy like DeAndre Swift, and he's paying $3 million for 4 running backs. I mean, it's truly amazing. The value this guy gets. There's nobody better in the business. I apologize for crushing you. But you redeemed yourself from the Jalen Reggers. You went to the big boy schools. You went and got winners. All we've done to this locker room is go get team captains from national title winners, not just guys that went there. We went, even the guy, the offensive lineman that we talked about, we love, Hollis, right? Steen, right? From Bama. That guy went to Bama. Bama won a lot. Yeah. Right now, he wasn't there his whole career, but he's still a winner. You go to a place, and that's like playing in the pro. So I can't wait for September.
And to follow up on that too, at the end of the day, if it didn't prove it last year, I believe in the quarterback. I believe in the leadership, and everybody else is following suit. And so I don't care what a schedule says. If that kid's leading my team, I believe we got a chance to win any football game all season.
Listen, we questioned some of the fundamentals on draft night, right? Rightfully so. If you watch him in Alabama back in the day, you knew there was question marks with the arm. There were some little things going on. How was that?
You want to know why? I didn't question his leadership, and I didn't question his mechanics because he went to Lincoln Riley. You don't go in 1 year and start and throw 39 touchdowns to 1 or 2 interceptions with bad mechanics. And if you look at what he did like there and you went from being in the doghouse to being second or third in the Heisman race. And you get drafted in the second round. All you want to do is come in and get better. The thing that I didn't like was nobody gave him a chance. I knew I personally felt it in my bones that I was like, this is a guy that can lead a team to a title. He has a pedigree. He has the
1-2.
The 1-2. Yeah, he has the 1-2, and it's like all he knows is football. He works hard. He stays in the film room. Now, sometimes that doesn't equate to victories, but for him, it's been equated to victories, and he's just showing everybody what I've been telling him the whole time. People have been arguing me down. They've been Carson lovers, and I told them before because one of my esteemed colleagues, he's probably watching us. He told me that Carson was going to be going downhill after the injury, just due to the way that he trains and stuff. And he was a big fish in a small pond at North Dakota State. And then you go back and you find out that he didn't even finish his last year there. He didn't come back into the championship game. The other guy led them there. So, and then he didn't want to be a teammate. He wasn't a good teammate. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, we saw that. The one thing I was saying on draft night is the one thing I would never question about Jalen. And he had every intangible leadership thing you would want out of your quarterback. The question came, can he continue to get better? Right. Yeah. That was the only question. Okay. What he did under Lincoln Riley was phenomenal, but there were still question marks. And more question marks that we just signed the quarterback to a $100 million deal and we're drafting one in the second round. So there was a lot of confusion there.
No, it shouldn't have been no confusion because we just had his backup the previous year was a 40-year-old guy who pulled his ass cheek muscle in a playoff game. The quarterback that we signed to $100 million had yet to complete an entire NFL season. So the best ability is availability. A lot of people hate when you say that, but in this game, we gotta get some insurance for you. It's like we gave you $100 million. That lets you know we're committed to you. Don't start acting like a bitch.
Yeah, he did act like a bitch. And like in 2018, 2019 was a supporter. Crum remembers this. Like with the Jalen thing, Crum, what did I yell and scream about? People called me a hater early on with Jalen. Was never a hater. Okay. I said, give him his junior year. I don't want Russell Wilson. I don't want none of these guys. When guys break out, they break out in their junior year of college. That's when most guys officially break out at the coming out party. Not that they're good, because he was good 2 years ago, right? He was good 2 years ago, hence why he went to the playoffs. But that next year was so important to see if he could make that jump. Year two in an offense, year two in a scheme, etc. And what we witnessed was exactly what we were hoping for. A gigantic jump, a jump into the MVP conversation, a jump into taking your team to a Super Bowl. Now it just tells you sky's the limit for this kid. We know how much of a worker he is, and we couldn't have a better face of our franchise than Jalen Hurts. He's everything that you want in a quarterback. Everything. And the other guy was aloof. So we didn't know that, though. We didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, I know. We didn't know that. It was. He had it well. Go ahead.
To me, it was the things that I worried about. It wasn't the leadership and all that with you guys. I didn't even worry about his mechanics. It was the things that typically don't develop at the pro level, which was the arm strength. That I worried a whole lot about because.
Why you worried? Why would you worry about that? Because everybody, if we can't. This is the one thing that I want to make sure that we do get out there.
Yes.
Quit listening to Mel Kiper and Todd McShay.
Oh, I don't listen to those.
Both of them have never had an NFL job, and NFL teams have never called them for anything. If you go and you check the kid's arm strength and check, he can make every throw. He has strength. So
I think the question wasn't. I think we're circling around, and the real thing is what we needed to see was a development inside the pocket. That's it. Yeah. It wasn't arm strength. Drew Brees, my son has a better arm than Drew Brees. He's still okay, but Drew Brees was
cool. Brees.
What's the word I always use? He could make his read. He was quick with his reads. He was decisive. He knew what he wanted to do. Yeah,
progressions were a concern for me, and that's not something I didn't think that he could develop.
Right.
But to take the leaps that he did from 2 years ago, from year 2 to year 3,
right,
to where it almost seemed like running the RPO. It was first read and go or hand the ball off.
Right.
As opposed to last year, you saw him going through his progressions quickly, finding the open person.
But you know what that entails though? It's like when you first get in the system, whether you play offense or defense, that first year you have to feel things out. That second year you should be playing with power because you know what you can do and you know what you can't do. You've done all the tests. You've done all the test runs. You got to be. In your first year, you got to be more meticulous so you figure out what you can and can't do because and then you figure out where everybody's supposed to be at. He has to know where everybody's supposed to be at.
Right.
It's like me when I played for example, I made sure I knew where everybody was going, so I knew where I couldn't go. See, if I know that, I know how to defeat the guy that's in front of me, and depending on what they're trying to do to me. But if you don't play like that, then you're not gonna last long. And I love this jump because it gave me the power to say, "I told you so, suckers."
I love a good "told you so." That's going to happen for me Sunday night in a different sport. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. We're going to come back. We're going to go over the schedule. We're going to talk about all the big, great away games that Philly Sports Trips is offering. And we'll break down a little bit of the Eagles schedule. 5 primetime games. Let's go.
Hey, Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
All right, there you have it.
Mm-hmm.
There you have it. PhillySportsTrips.com. Go book your getaway. So let's get right into this. Nobody cares about preseason, but we open up September 10th, and a great time to open up in New England in September and not like play them in December there. So we open up at New England, 425 game on CBS, obviously.
Yep.
And Hollis, let's get into one. Is Philly? I assume Philly Sports Trips. Is that one of their?
Yeah, that's one of the trips we're doing. Is I think they have both bus and airfare. If you go on PhillySportsTrips.com, you can pick your poison. I don't know which one I'm doing yet. I don't know which. Am I going to take the bus or am I on the fly? I think I'm gonna let the people decide. But that should be a good time because actually, Tom Brady. They're supposed to, I guess.
They honoring Tom Brady?
Yeah, they honoring Tom Brady. Yeah.
Oh wow, let's go blow him out. So I know I hate doing this. I really hate doing this, but I'm about to ask you guys: is that a win? You guys got a win there?
Damn,
in May.
In May, damn Skippy.
That's right. I'll put a what's today, May 12th? I'll put a May 12th W on that one.
Yeah.
All right. So we all have them. We all have a start 1-0. Can't wait to see where this goes. Then, wow. I mean, talk about a tough start. Just a quick turnaround. Week 2, Thursday night game, prime timer on Prime Video, which is horrendous.
Exactly.
We play the Minnesota Vikings again. This is our home opener, though.
Second year. Last year was the home opener against Minnesota on prime time.
Yep.
And we blew them out of the water, shut down Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
And I'm excited to hopefully we do this again this year.
Yeah, I think we are. They had a lot of problems, and they let a few of their veteran defenders go, and it should come back to bite them in the ass. And they're not that happy with Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins sucks. You like that, don't you?
He's the definition of like mediocre, right? I mean, everything in his life's 500. I mean, I'm not going to take shots at the guy personally, but I'll just leave it there. Everything in his life's 500. I mean, it is pretty cool when he's rocking the chains after wins, but they usually are followed up by losses. I got another Eagles win on May 12th against the Vikings, 2-0, and obviously now for the home games, Hollis, explain to the people how it works for Philly Sports Trips.
Well, I think if I'm not being, I don't want to be overzealous, but I think we're going to be at Live Casino, right there in the valet parking area, doing a little food, little drinks and stuff. It's easier to get to the stadium as well, but we will be tailgating each and every game, so we'll be there to have a tremendous time. Not just a good time, a tremendous time.
Tremendous. I love the word tremendous too. So not only, guys, can you book away trips, but you can also go and hang out with everybody at home games too. So if you're a guy who doesn't like the travel or you don't have the time to travel, they got Philly Sports Trips that has you taken care of at home games too. So you can still enjoy it. I got to pick one to go to. And honestly, I think we're coming up on the one I may choose, which is Monday night. Another prime timer. Now, at least you get a good break off here. It's almost like a bye week. Yeah. Because you have 11 days off. 11 days off. You travel to Tampa at the Bucks, 7:15, Monday night on ABC. That's gonna be a great getaway.
Who's gonna be there? Who's gonna be there with me? I say, who's gonna be in Tampa Bay with me? I'm actually Tom. You hear me, Tom?
Akers?
Yeah, is it okay? I was asking because I don't have that right in front of me.
No, I can pull it up. Let me find out who's in there because if you're following Philly Sports Trips on Twitter, they're releasing it all right now for the public. So everybody that wants to know,
I retweeted all those. I just can't remember them off the top of my head because I didn't charge my iPad up, so it's sitting here charging, and I got my phone with the schedule here.
I got it. It's Hollis Thomas and Invincible. The great Vince Papali is in Tampa.
Yes.
Stay tuned. We might have some Vince Papali news coming up for everybody too. So stay tuned.
Fairly awesome.
I don't want to go too deep. So everybody stay tuned for that one. I'm trying to see who was going to be in New England. But I don't see that one.
They're still being negotiated.
Oh, so all right.
It's still being negotiated.
Good. I didn't miss anything.
You didn't miss anything. They're still being negotiated. I gave him we got some. It should be quality if it goes through like I think it will. It should be awesome.
Nice.
And I think Temple they're also playing golf. Something to do with golf. Go to phillysportstrip.com and check it out. There's only limited spots available for the golf outing, and then normally the golf is pretty cool from what I can see from the beach and the pool area.
Yeah, I'm a terrible golfer. I got the baseball swing in golf. Never was able to fix it. So now we're all got us 3-0.
Yeah.
And now and now another home game, week 4, October 1st. It's a 1:00 game because Washington doesn't draw any attention.
Right.
And that is versus the Washington Commanders. And that's a 1:00.
And we're trying to get 1,000 plus to go down there to welcome the old Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy to the NFC East. This is his first NFC East game, and it'll be against us. The Commanders got a new offensive coordinator, so it's going to be a new look. It should be a great game. Last year we had 1,200 people at our tailgate in DC, or I guess can you call it DC? Isn't it outside of Washington? But we had an awesome time. If you go check out, it should be some pictures on phillysportstrips.com. And we had the VIP cigar area. We had a lot of good liquor, had a lot of good food, and a tremendous time and a quality DJ. Who's supposed to go on that one with me?
Well, that one, the Washington.
I think it's Jason Avant.
It is Jason Avant.
Ah, yes.
But that's week 8, so everybody knows that's week 8. Week 4 is at home, but it's fine. We cover both of them.
Oh yeah, we covered both of them.
Yeah, week 4 is at home. Week 8.
I jumped ahead.
No, jump away, because we care more about the away ones anyway. Yeah. So. That's a great one because everybody out there, and especially people like myself. I mean, I'll fly if I have to, but I prefer not flying. If I can drive, I like to drive.
Put me on a flight every day.
I know. I know. But that being said, that's a great bus trip down. Terrible stadium, but great bus trip down.
Yeah, it's a great bus trip down. It's hopefully they fix where they the guys
fell
over the edge. Oh, you remember that, don't you? He was going to say what's up to everybody, and they all came in to say hi at once. It was
so
bad.
Funny. So 4-0. Week 5. Here's a great away trip. I mean, here's a great one, and I believe this is a 4-dayer in Los Angeles, and it's Hollis Thomas and John Dornbos. All right, so that's
Abracadabra.
That's abracadabra. That's 2 guys there. So that's week 5, October 8th. That's a 4:05 game. And that trip is October 5th through 9th. So you get a few days out there. I mean, that trip is
Santa
a
Monica,
great one.
baby. We'll be in Santa Monica having a tremendous time. Hopefully I get John to do some magic, do his magic show.
He'll do it. He would do that in a heartbeat.
I think it takes a lot to do those magic shows. Like I'm no magician, but when I do try to make magic happen, it takes a lot out of me.
Oh, listen, I'm sure anybody would throw you guys a couple bucks to get him in there. He's got AG team fame now.
Yeah.
This is amazing though. I mean, you're staying at the Marina Del Rey Marriott. It's a 4-night stay there.
Los Angeles, too. I'll tell you what, I will vouch for it. You want to go to a great away game? We went in 2018, the December around Christmas time. You go to a game in LA, and I'll tell you what, it's beautiful weather to be outside tailgating.
Tremendous,
guys, too. This is a tremendous trip for anybody that wants to go out to LA.
Yes, and I think sometimes it's not a West Coast trip. So the last time when they were out there, they had a practice at California at the Angels baseball stadium. So it was pretty cool.
That's really cool.
I went over there. We got In-N-Out Burger.
Man, you're gonna have me thinking about In-N-Out Burger over the rest of the night now.
Yes, it is. It is quite tasty. It is a delicious burger. I tell you what.
It is.
Phenomenal.
It's delicious. I mean that trip's phenomenal. I'm just reading about it now. I mean, so much stuff. Where you're staying is gorgeous.
You're like a kid with a new comic book.
I might make that one my one. I don't know. I'm going the one. I don't know which one. That one's like I wasn't saying hello to me, but that's a tough one for me too. That's right. That's right in baseball season for me still. So that's that one, of course. So maybe 4-1 guys. We'll let the boys on Birds of a Feather really break down the schedule later.
Yeah, I feel like we'll be 5-0.
I do too.
I think, and you know what? And then we have a bunch. The next one is a bus trip up to play the Jets and their newfangled, because they're riding kind of high, and so I'm hoping that they're riding real high and we kick them off their high horse. So it's like one of those things to where ends to a mean. Even if we are 4-1 at that point when we get to the Jets, I just want to kick the Jets' ass just to let them know we mean business.
Mm-hmm. I keep forgetting they got Aaron Rodgers. So
hold on. Pat wants to know if is it better than Five Guys.
It is for me.
It's on the same level.
It's very close.
It's very close. So, since we have Five Guys here, I'll go with Five Guys.
Yeah, the animal style is the difference maker, though. That's what makes it crazy over there now.
I guess. You ever tried a Five Guys animal style?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe I have to. Maybe this might be a life-changing moment right now.
Think outside the box.
Oh yeah. In and out changed my life. So that's all.
It changed a lot of people's life. I was laughing because when I used to co-host with Angelo, he swore once he went out there and had one, he swore by it. And see, he had his first one at 62 or 63 years old, and he was like, "Oh my God, where has this been all my life?" I was like, "Are you kidding me? It's a delicious burger, but come on."
Yeah, I can't believe he wasn't out there before that at some point. That's even more amazing. But yeah, it's good. It's good. Like, I mean, it's a fast food burger, right? So, there's better ones, but it's very delicious. And anything with a palm tree goes better. So I mean, that's real talk.
Exactly. The deliciousness is landed. I was looking at the October 22nd game versus Miami at home.
Yeah.
Do you think the Miami head coach is going to try to do some get back for Kyle Shanahan them, because he used to be in the 49ers?
I would hope he feels the same way I do about Kyle Shanahan, that he's a perennial loser. He single-handedly had his fingerprints on the biggest collapse in Super Bowl history. And if it wasn't for Daddy, I bet you he doesn't get a head coaching job. All right. It's nice to know people, isn't it, Kyle? All right.
Yes, it is.
Keeps getting his team right there, but can never close, which is funny. And you
have the same energy at Kyle Shanahan as one of my Wilbur Montgomery. Wilbur Montgomery hates Kyle Shanahan because he says he gets every quarterback that he has hurt.
That's a fair point.
It's like you look at what he does. He's like that. He say the play action fake that he's running is only going to work so many times in the game. Running that same play and running the quarterback out there naked, it's pretty much got every. And when you go back and look at it, it's pretty much got. And that's anybody that's been in for more than a year, it's pretty much got everybody smashed in the teeth. Jimmy Garoppolo stayed hurt on them.
Mm-hmm. It was never known to be a hurt guy before there, right?
He got RG3 murdered. He just got Purdy. He got Trey Lance and Purdy and Johnson murdered. So Wilbur's probably right.
Cool. He's got a great zone read running game though. So I mean, first guy who had a good running game in the history of the NFL, supposedly.
And listen, I don't care how many regular season wins he gets. When it comes down to crunch time, Sean McVay's his daddy.
Yeah.
His peanuts get real small in crunch time. We've seen that over the years. Yeah, Sean McVay shouldn't be anybody's daddy, right? And the fact that Sean McVay's your daddy says a lot.
Real bad. He got rid of Jared Goff because he would smash his girlfriend or fiance or something or the other.
I don't know if you ever seen her. I mean, good for Jared.
Well, but you don't say that you smashed the head coach's girl in the you don't put that out in the universe like that. You don't say you smashed the boss's girl in a group text. It's like, wow, man, he was bold.
Yeah, I can't believe that even comes out, right? Like, I mean, that's a hush puppy. That's a hush puppy. The Dolphins game, that Dolphin game should be. I mean, that's 2 back-to-back tough ones, or 3. So that's 3 games in a row in May that look tough. Rams, obviously, a good opponent with a damn good quarterback. Jets. I mean,
what was it? The Rams. The Rams. Okay.
Oh, not the Rams. I meant the Chargers.
Yeah,
I keep
Chargers.
thinking it's the I mean, have 2 teams in LA. Just name one.
Well, Matt Stafford is serviceable, but everybody's pretty much found them out, and their offensive line is really makeshift. So if our offense does anything close to what they normally do, we should be able to handle their offense. So
I'll see myself out. By the way, I'm sorry about that, guys. It's the Rams, not Chargers. I can't believe I just butchered that.
Well, we were talking Sean McVay, so
yeah. Well, you are right about the gauntlet though, because if you look at it, we played the Rams is not going to be an easy task by any stretch of the means, but the Jets, who are tough defensively, and they got some offense now. Miami, who's great defensively, and they have an offensive-minded head coach who kind of, if they will run the ball, they have one of the better running games known to man right now. But then we come right back to us to the NFC East, to another hard contest with the Commanders. They're not going to go anywhere. But then you turn around and you go with Dallas.
Yep.
And then you had to buy. So my boy, in the immortal words of Prime from 4th of John, they sent us through a gauntlet. That second part, the first, like we come out 4-1 or 5-1 from those first few games. We're coming through a gauntlet before we go to the bye week, and then we come out the bye week, and it's more head chopping. We got Kansas City.
Well, big revenge game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, revenge game.
It's not revenge. We just want to kick their ass. But I think a revenge is us kicking their ass in the Super Bowl.
True. A regular season win never does it for me. It doesn't take the sting away. It never will.
Yeah, it never will.
But it'd be nice to go there. It would be nice.
It would be great to go there and kick their ass.
Yeah, that's all I'm looking for. Because that's a game. That's a game. I feel like I hate to say it. I feel like it's a game we should have won. Yeah. Simple as that. Yeah. Now that trip, if you go book on Philly Sports Trips, that trip is Hollis Thomas.
Yep.
And David Akers.
Tasty 8. And they're trying to work it right now. This is a caveat. They have the World War I museum there. Oh, so I'm going to try to go to I didn't get to go last time because that's where they have I was there for the draft, but I would like to see the museum. I'm a bit of I study a little bit of history here and there, to see what how do we get to this point on Earth? So I would like to see the World War I museum. It should be pretty interesting.
So you get some things too if you sign up in May for this trip. Everyone who signs up in May will receive a 16x20 custom Philly artwork print from Foster Philly Art and a second 16x20 artwork from Art of Words. And there's 2 prints combined value of like $90, and they'll ship right to your address in June. So if you book in May, you get a little something, which is cool.
Sounds pretty good.
That's another tough game, and then guess where we come back to, guys? Then we come back home for 2 games in a row. Bills, Niners. I mean, when you talk about let's run through before we got the bye week in it. All right,
on the whole back end of this,
the whole back end's a gauntlet. That's why it's hard to even say it's a gauntlet because I don't want anybody getting hurt, but you're Mahomes injury away from that game not being the same. In Buffalo, you're Josh Allen injury away from that being the same. So it's hard to say now. But if you go off on paper, which is the only thing we can do, they are really tough games. But guess what? They're not just tough for us. They're tough for them.
Exactly. It's like this is. I personally like the schedule mainly because once we come out of this like 13-3. What is it? 13, whatever. I feel like we get 12 or 13 wins again with the same schedule. Once we come up with this, what's going to be the excuse now? What's going to be the excuse of all the chumps now? It's like, oh, you guys just had a cakewalking schedule. Now let's we reloaded the clip. Sorry for the gun reference. We added some more guys from the draft. We got some guys in free agency who are, if you pay attention to what he did in free agency, he did the same thing he did last year. He's catching guys coming off the second year of being injured, and they had a decent year last year. So this year is a prove it year. Like, prove that you're no longer injured. Prove that you still got what it takes to be in the NFL. And when you get guys like that, man, it's because you're getting the best from them, and they're in there to win. And a lot of guys would love to want to play with Jalen. A lot of guys, he's just a winner, man. I don't know any other way to say it. He's a great kid. And me calling a guy a kid, man, I'm old. But it should be a fun season.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it back. You couldn't have said it better. I mean, guys want to play with winners.
Yeah.
Guys want to play for an organization like this because it's a winning organization that takes care of its own too.
Yep.
They don't have to pay for cafeteria food like down in that, like over in Arizona. So it's just that's what winning organizations do. They take care of their players. They take care of their own. And Jalen's a guy that people definitely want to play with. I mean, I don't want to know why you wouldn't want to play with him.
Now, Tom, we've been sitting here. You guys have been going through the trips. Which trips did you guys trip out? You've been going to PhillySportsTrips.com, thumbing through the trips. What seems to be one of you guys' favorite trips that you'd like to go on?
Well, go ahead, Kramer.
Kansas City sounds nice. Now, I've been out to Missouri. I've been to St. Louis.
I grew up in St. Louis.
Oh, okay. There you go. See, I'm a big Cardinals guy, so I've been to St. Louis.
Here we go.
Is that why? Is it because your hair's red? You like the red hair?
Right. Listen, red looks great on greatness. I'm just saying. Right?
So why aren't you a Phillies?
I grew up. I'm a 3 for 4. I was an Ozzie Smith running Redbirds '80s guy.
Yeah, I like Ken Griffey Jr. too, but I'm a Phillies fan. You know what I mean? Like Ken Griffey Jr. is my guy. That's my guy. Look, elbow up, right, elbow up. Come on.
I like Nolan Ryan too.
I like Nolan too.
I mean, I don't tell you, the Phillies were losers.
But I love Mike Shit.
That is true. You know what that was? I used to say Mike Shit back in the day, and I couldn't get the Schmidt out. We were Mike Shit. But it was one of my favorites too. You know what? Looking through it, I wish I could do the Rams one because that one's the Rams and Tampa because they're just beautiful places, right? But looking like on the back end, I'll look on the back end a little bit. I think it would be fun. I've never been to Seattle. That's the game probably I don't want to go to though in December. But whatever. I mean, that's a great city, right? That I had never seen. So that one intrigues me. But you know what? You know what? I really the one on the back end, Dallas.
Yeah, right.
It's just because of the rivalry, right?
Yeah,
like
the rivalry. It is like it's great for. The first few times I went down there tailgating, I took my initial Philly attitude and was like, F everybody. F everybody in blue. But they're so damn nice to you. It's like, yeah.
It's not the same.
It's not the same energy as we get up here. So it's like you find yourself like saying what's up, but I still will not be pals with a person that's from Philly that's a Dallas fan. If you're from Philly, you're a Dallas fan, go fornicate yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? Now I have friends, my buddies, probably some of them watching, who are from Texas that are Dallas fans. And they used to say, when I was playing, they used to be like, I hope you do great, but I hope y'all lose. I was like, that's never going to happen. Because if I do great, that means you guys are doing bad. So,
that's true.
So, but when you go down there, and then it's great food, great atmosphere, and they play it up and stuff, and we really shut it down though, because once you get the Eagle chant going, everybody in green will stop and join you. So that's one of the, if you haven't experienced a game down there, it's Jerry's Fun World, but I don't think they don't have the home field advantage down there by any stretch of the means. That's the funny part too. So
yeah, I was in the old stadium a couple times back in the day when they were loaded and we weren't. But I like Dallas, not as a team, but as like an area. Like I like Dallas a little bit. Like Chrome said, when he was younger, got introduced to some players and fell in love. When I was younger, I got to meet Darren Woodson. I got to meet Emmitt Smith. I got to meet Michael Irvin. Guess what? I still didn't like him.
Yeah.
I still didn't like him. All right. I was like 8 and I or maybe 10, and I despised them. All right. I was wearing my Eagles stuff. I didn't care. I had a whole starter outfit on. As like an 11-year-old that my uncle took to his nightclub with him. Right. But I met all the guys. All right. And respected every one of them.
Yeah,
because they're great. But
I met them after I kicked their ass when my rookie year down in Dallas. So
I remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the game where Randall punted it like 70-something yards.
Oh man,
that's how good our offense was at that.
Wow.
quarterback was punting.
And the pickle juice game.
Pickle juice game was a great one.
Yeah, Troy.
That's where we onside of them to start the game, right? You guys onside of the start.
Yeah, then Troy Aikman at the end of the season, he was retired and started talking about our defense. Wasn't that good after he became a commentator? We were good enough to retire you, Troy. 8 sacks and 10 quarterback hits on the first game of the season.
Imagine saying that about that defense, though. Like, imagine saying, like, having the audacity to say, like, that defense wasn't that good. Wow.
It was when he had first joined Fox, and I think we were in the playoffs, and he was like, "Yeah, the defense they're highly touted, but they're just not that good." I was like, "Seriously?" I was like, "See, that's the audacity of some people, man."
It's unbelievable. Finishing out the schedule. Yeah, so I mean, that's it. And then the last week, and that time's to be announced because if that game means something, I'm sure it's going to be a prime time-ish game, like at least a 4:25 or flex to Sunday night, one or the other, and we wrap up in New York to close it out. Week 17, Arizona. So we have we play the Giants twice in 3 weeks. So week 16 at home versus the Giants, then Cardinals, then Giants. So if you look at that back end on the last three compared to the rest of our schedule, not saying it's easy because it's a divisional game, a little easier.
Well, the funny thing was, you remember the last season we played the Giants like in succession, and the last game really didn't mean that much, and we still won, but they were high fiving like they had found had cracked the code, and then they came back the next week and got dominated.
They signed the below average quarterback to way too much money. So
oh my God,
go enjoy yourself in New York. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they didn't really have a choice. That's what happens when you don't have a choice.
Yeah, you got backed into it. There wasn't much else out there for them.
No, there's nothing else out there. You're either going to trade for Lamar and give up way too many first round picks, right? You're going to trade for Rodgers, which they're not going to do. The Jets are in win now mode because of their defense, even though it's young. I mean, the Jets are in win now mode because that's like a Baltimore Ravens type of defense where
do you realize
they can shut you down.
If they could have scored 17 points, at least 17 points, they would have been like damn near 12-4.
Oh yeah, they lost so many games because that defense that's a Super Bowl caliber defense. They just
the Jets, right? The Jets, yeah.
I mean, when you're running Mike White out there,
dude, they held Buffalo to 20 and 17 points respectively.
Crazy. It's crazy.
I'm like, and they had explosive offense.
Nobody shuts Buffalo down like that.
Yeah,
nobody does. I mean, that Sauce Gardner. I'm not usually right about a lot of things, but corners and wide receivers, I feel like I never miss. Right, Sauce Gardner. You could just tell some guys just have it, and you could tell. You could tell day one it was a no-brainer pick for them. I mean, I don't want to compare anybody to like the great corners of all time, but that guy takes half the field away. That's all it is. And the greats take half the field away, and that's what he's done in year one as a rookie, which is so damn impressive because usually there's a little growing pains. Sauce Gardner had no growing pains with an offense that was anemic. So you're always on the field.
But look at they had rookie of the year offensively too. They had a 1,200 yard, 1,000+ yard rookie receiver. Garrett Wilson with a crummy quarterback.
Two of them.
It's crazy.
I mean, one guy really. I mean, I don't want to get into Zach Wilson, but
that's what Brees Hall being.
Brees
Hall must miss a lot of time this year,
and he'll be back this year too. Well, that's why I was laughing when everybody's like, they don't have good wide receivers. I'm like, yes, they do. They had no quarterback. If you're Aaron Rodgers, that's an upgrade from where you were just at. Not only defensively, but all your skill position players. I'll give Aaron Jones a nod because he's a pro over a second-year player. Right. But outside of that, everything's better, even without Lazard. Like, Lazard's just a nice little bonus to have. But when you talk about Wilson, when you talk about, who's it? Elijah Mitchell? No. Elijah Mitchell's San Fran. Who's their other wide receiver? See, I'm not even in.
They brought Alan Lazard there.
They brought Lazard, but they had
and they got Mims.
I'll say this though.
Who's the other guy? I'm missing a guy. Maybe he got traded. He might
say
got
this
traded.
though in Green Bay.
Oh, the dude did get traded. Go ahead.
Aaron Rodgers didn't exactly put the effort in either to work with guys like Christian Watson.
I know
to open the year.
And
you saw with Christian Watson once they built a little bit of a rapport. How special he can be.
Yeah, he didn't do the leg work.
He was checked out by then.
Yeah, because he wasn't even there during the offseason doing any other OTAs or anything. It's like you had to build it. That's the epitome of having to build a rapport, some team rapport and continuity.
Yeah, it's actually a joke. You know, that guys think at some points in their career that they're bigger than team. You know what I mean? I'm a big team guy. There's a lot of things you might not say I was the best player people played with, but the one thing I can always hang my hat on, you know, guys will say that's the best team that I played with.
Working,
you know, and that matters more than any other thing. They got Hardman,
right.
They got Lazard, they got Garrett Wilson, they got Corey Davis, they got Denzel Mims, and they traded the other young kid they had.
Yeah, because he was talking crap.
Yeah, he was. He had a lot.
Then they got Randall Cobb. So
wow,
they ended up getting a second round pick for the kid they traded to the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, what a defense too. All right, well, that's the Eagles schedule for you.
Yep.
We'll do one more commercial before we get out of here too.
PhillySportsTrips.com.
And go check out. Book your trip today. PhillySportsTrips.com. Go hang out with Hollis. Who doesn't want to hang out with Hollis?
Hang out with me and other birds. You know, you heard Alexa who's going to be on the trip. The schedule came out yesterday. I know Vincent is working right now with Baby Breath, trying to put all these trips together. And you know, book them and tell them Tank sent you, and tell them that you heard it on A2D Radio. That should be Philly Sports Trips again. PhillySportsTrips.com. Come hang out with me and possibly one of these guys when Chrome or Tom picks one of the trips that they want to go on. And, you know, let's go out and have a good time and support the birds, baby.
Yeah, I'm nobody, but I mean, maybe some people out there would like to hang out with me. You know what I mean?
You're somebody. You and Chrome, especially. And Chrome has a soul, too. That's all you guys wondering out there. He has a soul.
That's true. Tell you what, and I'm gonna be part-time living down in Florida too around that time. So
okay.
Whether I go from here down to Tampa or I'm already there and I'm taking the drive, I definitely see you in Tampa.
That's a great spot too. We'll take a little Philly sports trip commercial, come back, wrap up the show, and tell you to stay tuned for a programming alert tonight. A little change of schedule, and we'll say that all when we come back.
Hey, Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
There you have it, family. Go book today. PhillySportsTrips.com. Listen, awesome show. Before we get out of here, I just want you to know how many wins do you guys have for the Eagles this year in May?
In May?
Hey, what is your prediction in May?
Early prediction.
Early.
My early prediction is 12 or 13. That's my early prediction.
I got him at 13. If you were to ask me today, 13.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm 12, 13, right in that ballpark. Could always change when we get closer. I could be up to 14. You know, we all know how that goes. But listen, great show, guys. Ton of fun. We said we'll do a half an hour. Look at us, we're an hour. And like nothing.
Things happen. Talks happen. You know, Philly Sports Trips happen. A2D Radio happens. Chrome happens. Tom happens. You know, everything happens.
Thank you.
It all happens. Stay tuned tonight. Turn your alerts on. Birds of a Feather, usually on Thursday nights. They moved last night because Sixers were on. Didn't want to go up against it. Such a tough loss. But Sixers were on. Birds of a Feather live tonight. They're going to go in the even deeper detail game by game. Our show was a little different. So stay tuned to the boys tonight. Birds of a Feather live on HUD Radio. Make sure if you haven't, follow us on all your social media platforms and everywhere you get your podcasts. We're there as well. Like, subscribe, download, review, join the conversation. Most importantly, turn your alerts on, baby, so you know when we're live. We keep adding more and more. You can catch Hollis every Friday right now on Vetted himself and Irvin Fryer. Mondays, you got me and Mitch Williams, the Wild Thing. That's a ton of fun. We're getting all your baseball talk going. So we got more and more we're adding. And I think I can release this news. This Monday, did I say, Chrome? Or Tuesday? Tuesday? My brain's fried. Tuesday, 9 a.m. will be the Rob Ellis show. So the great Rob Ellis, who's done a great job forever in this city. Yeah. So you'll get him. I noticed an Eagle show, but I'm going to leave everybody with this little nugget because I'm not on until Sunday night. Book it, guarantee it, write it down wherever you want to write it down on a napkin and pull it out of your pocket. I guarantee you all, the Sixers are winning Game 7 in Boston. Book it. Book it, book it, book it. And I cannot wait for it to happen because when all the chips are down, when nobody believes, that's when these types of things ends. Curses end when you least expect it. That's what happens. Every road team has been better in this series than the home team. That's factual. All right? Doc Rivers never won a Game 7. Trends seem to change in sports. They do. Everything leads you to believe the Sixers are done. Hop on board, baby. It's hard to play at home sometimes in these games. Hollis has been in games. I don't want to go back revisionist history, but as Eagles fans, we've been in games where we're big-time favorites at home, and a team has no right coming in and beating us, and things happen. Sometimes the pressure of playing at home is harder. They're the Eastern Conference champions, right? The pressure's all on them. We're not house money because we have a lot of pressure too, different type of pressure. But if you look at it, oh, baby, I wouldn't want to be butthole tight in Boston. So I didn't want to go on a little rant there. Just had to get that off. And all you that jumped off a wagon before a Game 7 are crumbs, big time crumbs. And your fan was BS to me. It's not even a real fan. How can you jump off in a Game 7? I can understand you jumping off down 3-1 going into Game 5, sure, right? But how are you jumping off on a Game 7 when we won 2 games there? We've proven we can win there. And guess what? The last thing, Mr. Old Man Harden, Mr. Old Man PJ Tucker, that extra day off benefits us more than it benefits Boston. Yep. Let's go. That's the great Hollis Thomas.
Damn, Skippy.
That's the great Michael Chromiak. I'm the average Tom Arnone. We appreciate you all tuning in, chiming in. Birds of a feather later on A2D Radio. We were brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. Go book your getaway today, phillysportstrips.com. Their schedule has been released. Go check them out. We're out of here.